Hi ladies, welcome back to another episode of the Enrich Her Experience. We've missed y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so welcome back. My name is Miss Sinclair. I am your millennial lifestyle transformational coach. I help millennial women specifically rebuild their lives after life-changing events. If you're changing jobs, if you're changing relationships, or changing your health, I got you, and I hope that this episode will help you even further.
And I am Deliqua. I am an anti-anxiety expert, author, and speaker. I empower women to reclaim their lives from anxiety and traumatic experiences, to help them create a more well-balanced life and live a more productive life.
Yes.
So that's who we are and what we do, but as she stated, we do hope this episode helps you guys navigate through some changes in your life.
Yeah, and the Enrich Her Experience is all about giving you the tools, right, to actually go make change yourself, not being a temporary empowerment session, you know, all that rah-rah. We really want to spark something to take action in your own lives.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, so what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about the process of unlearning, right? So you have to unlearn a lot of behaviors, you know, as you're navigating through your challenges, because sometimes the behavior you have are self-sabotaging behaviors and you're not aware of it. So it keeps you in negative cycles. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today, the process of unlearning. So
yeah, this is big, especially as we're going into the new year.
Yes.
You know, you can't say new year, new me if you're not a new me.
Oh, that part. Hello.
And so let's get into it, because, you know, if you're watching this right now, you're probably a grown woman, right? I would say at least 25. At least 25. And so you have 25 years of
programming.
Yeah, exactly.
Programming.
25 years of programming. So if I was a 25-year-old woman, or if I was a 40-year-old woman, where would I start to really unravel or really identify the things that I have learned from my environment and other people?
I think it's a process of understanding what serves you and what doesn't serve you, right? So it's like you're drawing a chart on a sheet of paper, right? And you have do's and don'ts. So what serves you and what doesn't serve you, and begin to lay out those behaviors. And you want to, you know, just look at your life as a whole. So mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, look at those things and create that list of what serves you, what doesn't serve you. And then you will be able to see your pattern of behavior, you know, whether it's, let's talk about the mental patterns, right? So let's go into the patterns of the things that keeps us in cycle, right? So if you know deflecting mentally is a thing that keeps you in a cycle going back to self-sabotaging behaviors, then that's something you want to get rid of. When are you deflecting from certain things? Are you deflecting because it makes you uncomfortable to embrace that emotion? So let's start there. Let's talk a little bit about that.
And I love that. Maybe we can do 3 pillars, because when I talk about lifestyle transformation, I always start with the mind, then we talk about the body, the health, and then we talk about maybe business and aspirations. So speaking about the mindset and really uncovering the things that we deflect, right? And so I think that starting by making a list of what serves you and what doesn't serve you, it's so important, because it's important now. Like, these are things now that you can quickly think of and say, okay, well, I've been feeling this way when this happens, or I don't like how I feel when this happens. And so that can be something that you start consciously working on. I would also say maybe journaling from your past to maybe help you start to piece together maybe why am I having these habits, right? And then start looking in your past on events where you can attach those things to the behaviors you don't want anymore.
Right. So mindset, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, you have to really know what's in the subconscious mind, because that is what's keeping you in the cycle. So what's there? Are your responses on autopilot? So when things happen, are you responding naturally the exact same way to everything that is happening? If you are, that is a part of your programming. That is a part of your hard wiring. So how do you change that? You begin to take a break in the moment of that experience. And once you take a break in the moment of that experience, mean you are now embracing that experience. And so when you embrace it, how do you feel right now, today, while this is happening? Not reaching back to an old behavior pattern or old thought pattern or old response. Just taking a moment to see how you are feeling right now when that is happening. That will help you be able to identify what is serving you and what doesn't serve you. And that, well, it'll actually help you correct the behavior.
That's good. And so when you're trying to take this advice and use these tools, you may say, okay, how do I pay attention to how I feel, or how can I stop myself in the moment? And so I want to suggest putting into practice daily meditation and journaling, because you are imprinting new behaviors on your subconscious. And so if you take 5 or 10 minutes a day and just create scenarios in your mind, or create the mindset that you will react a certain way when something happens, or you will take more time throughout the day to assess how something feels. Now you are priming your mind to automatically stop when something is happening that you have to assess, or even reacting in a different way. And if you couple your mindfulness and your meditations with journaling, these two key components, as you're writing, you are slowly also unlocking like a comforter in your mind, and it's laying on that thought. And so it's like, okay, this is what you want to do. Okay, I will. It's just so complimentary to write when you're meditating, because it's like doing the work times 2, if that makes sense.
It allows you to connect with your inner self, right? Self-awareness. In order to practice mindful tools, you have to be aware of yourself. Not only yourself, but the space that you're in. So you definitely want to do this in a place where it's nice and clean, uncluttered, right? Because we're developing, you want to become unbothered by a lot of things. So you want to put yourself in a situation or atmosphere where there's not a lot of distractions to bother you. So meditation, journaling, and connecting with your inner self as you are doing those things, becoming self-aware, becoming mindful of your thoughts, of your experiences, and understanding that everything is just an experience, right? Because a lot of times we take on the identity of these experiences. You really want to understand it is an experience that you are having in the moment, not who you are, not a part of your being. It's just an experience.
Yep. And these experiences are important. You know, approach them with an excitement or curiosity, because each of these experiences is going to help you determine whether you still want to be this person, or whether you want to change and start developing new mental habits. And so I hope that now you feel a little more confident to change maybe a little bit about your mindset. So let's go into health. We love health. We love feeling good, looking good. You know, yes. we love that, because it's a tool for us to keep us energized, yes. Keep us pouring into people. Yes. So let's talk about how we can unlearn some unhealthy habits that we might have, especially the holidays are here. Oh my gosh.
All this emotional eating, people sad, people depressed. They're trying to figure out after all of these holidays how they're going to make it into the next one to pay their bills, right? So,
carrying all that weight.
Yeah. So not only are you carrying it mentally, you're carrying it physically, right? So understanding that the power of your mind has the ability to change your body on a cellular level. So what are you thinking about? How are you processing your feelings and emotions? Your body is a natural drugstore, so you don't have to go out here and buy these over-the-counter drugs. Your mind has the ability to produce things in your body that's going to make you feel good, and in terms heal your body. So in understanding that alone, that can change your perception on what you're eating, what you're thinking about during the day, what emotions are driving your eating patterns. And you know, we were kind of joking the other day when we were talking about this, about, you know, what is something that someone can do practical to around their emotional eating habits, right? Most people, when they're emotional, they go for the sugary things, right? So we were talking about getting a jar and just kind of writing on that jar healthy snacks, and putting granola bars, you know, fruit or something. So when you are emotional, you're reprogramming your habits by going and grabbing something that is healthier for your body.
Yeah, trick yourself. You know, we have controls to change anything about ourselves personally. So trick yourself. You are in control. You know, if you usually have a stash of cookies, you know, replace that with something else. So when you automatically go to that space, they're no longer available. Only something healthier is available for you. I think also the way that you can use your mind to control your unhealthy eating habits or lifestyle habits, start associating bad things with bad behaviors, right? First of all, if you truly love yourself, if you truly care and you want to nurture yourself the way that you nurture your children, the way that you nurture your career, you know, and you really adore yourself, would you really put so much sugar and so much fats and salts and into your body, your vessel who is taking you through life? Like, start honoring yourself so that you can have a different relationship with unhealthy eating and other food habits.
Because we're in the soft girl era, right? And so if we're truly going to be in the soft girl era,
let me go eat this fried chicken.
Right, if we're truly going to be in the soft girl era, we have to consider our habits that are not keeping us soft, right?
It's so true. I'm telling you, sometimes even for me, you know, we're not exempt from what we're telling you, and it's work every day. But even for me, sometimes I have to say, I've started to talk to myself like a young girl. I'm like, "Hi, babe, how you doing, sweetie? You know, do you really want to do that? Does that make you feel good?" Because it makes me feel like I'm nurturing myself, and then I also make better decisions because I'm handling myself like a child.
Yes, you're handling yourself with care, right? And it's because you care about yourself. And that is part of the self and the soul care that we often talk about. So just being able to recognize your emotions, how are they driving you? Literally, what choices are they driving you to? Are they healthy choices? Are they unhealthy choices? Not just in what you're eating, right? But also, how are you thinking about you? Because food is a part of your expression, your love to yourself, as you stated. So when you're doing that, how is it affecting you? How is it showing up as love? Is this a part of you loving yourself? If you know that fried chicken that you're getting ready to eat, or that pizza, whatever it is that you're getting ready to eat, is going to push you further back to from your goals, is that an act of love? It is not. You want something that is going to push you towards your goals, not pull you away from your goals. So just asking yourself, is this a part of me loving myself, or is this a part of me feeding the emotions that is going to drive me into self-sabotaging behaviors?
I'm gonna tell you another way you can trick yourself. This may be a little unconventional. I didn't practice this before we started recording, but something that I tell people to do is, and our audience is majority women, when you're eating something and you're thinking about the process of you ingesting it, chewing it, and swallowing it down your esophagus, sometimes I say, imagine that your esophagus is the canal in your vagina, because it's made out of the same thing, the same, you know, it's a tube, it's a soft tube, and your organs have to be able to break down this food. So how comfortable do you feel putting a piece of fried chicken in your vagina and, you know, chewing it and decomposing it? You know, it's just something to help you, give you that shock value and make you realize what better choices there are to make in those moments.
It's very, very real. So, and how often are you detoxing, right? How often are you detoxing your body from sugars, from starchy foods, from fatty foods? Like, how often are you doing it? You want to consider that, because you should be resetting your body, recalibrating your body, and that recalibration should bring you closer to how you want to feel. It should bring you closer to the desires that you're trying to manifest. So how often are you detoxing yourself? Physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. Because your eating habits have a play on your finances, right? Sometimes people eat or they choose the wrong things to eat because of their finances, right? You hear oftentimes people complain about how expensive, and I hate to use that word, but this is the words of other people, how expensive it is to eat healthy, right? So we have to reframe our minds about what is expensive. Is it expensive to eat healthy, or is it expensive to be sitting in the doctor losing time from work because of your eating habits? So in that moment, what's the best choice that is going to serve you, right? We're thinking about long-term, building long-term relationship with things. So if I eat this chicken and I know that I have a health condition, and this chicken is going to prompt that health condition, now you're thinking about, okay, you got to go, that's a doctor bill, right? Now you're thinking about, okay, not only is it a doctor bill, has this turned into something where now you need to be in the hospital for a few days? So how is this affecting your finances? How are these eating habits affecting your finances? So it would be more expensive not to eat healthy than it is to eat healthy. So we have to think about our mindset of how we view what is expensive.
Mm-hmm. And millennial women, we are not exempt from this, because the habits that we form now will keep us kicking in our 70s and our 80s. Yes. You know, I'm watching this show on Netflix called Grace and Frankie.
Oh yeah, love you.
But they are fit,
yes,
right? They are healthy in their 70s, being a hot mess.
Yes.
And so it's like, if we aspire to have longevity and be healthy in our later years, now is the time. We got to do a show review or something.
Oh my God,
I love that show.
Crazy. I love it. Because they are two different individuals on so many levels. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yes, yes. So yes, y'all. Okay, so all right, so we did mind, we did body health, right? And let's talk about finances and business.
Yes.
Because it's important that one is able to sustain and take care of their bare necessities at least.
Yes.
So what are some, in your opinion, what are some unhealthy habits that women have about finances and success that may be hindering them from the goals that they have?
Money habits. Money habits. What's important, right? A lot of people want to look the part, right? But say for instance, you got a $10,000 bag and you don't have $2 in it. What is the purpose, right? That $10,000 could have went towards helping execute your business idea, right? And you can look the part later. I am not a fan of the saying, fake it till you make it. I've never been. I know people hold true to that, and I understand why people say it. But if faking it is going to put you in a financial deficit, when you know that you are trying to really build a legacy for your family financially, then is it worth it to be faking it? Put that money towards executing of your business plan, hiring the right help to execute the business, right? So yeah, I think that the mindset around money habits has to change.
Mm-hmm. And you know, as someone who has started from zero, filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, I have hard boundaries against certain things, like going over certain limits of my credit, because I don't want to be in a place where I don't have resources to help me out of situations or to just take care of myself. And so I think, you know, we really have to focus on our history of handling money. How did our families handle money? And that's something for me as well. I'm sure a lot of women can attest to this, just growing up in a single family household, yes, and your mom taking care of everything. Yes. You have a scarcity mindset already. And so when you get a little bit of money, you feel like, oh, I need to do this, or I need to do that, or maybe you might feel like it's not enough, or you grew up in a neighborhood where you just wasn't getting things, so now you want to show off. There's a lot of things, and going back to that mindset unlearning, that you have to unlearn in order to recreate new habits for yourself.
Yes. If you grew up in a family where it was a house full of siblings, right, and you naturally have been taught you have to take care of your family, right, that creates a mindset of scarcity, right, because you always want to make sure that your family has what they need, so you're clenching and holding on to every dollar, and you're not living a life that you want to live because you've been raised a certain way to take care of your family obligations, make sure your siblings have. And then that creates a mindset of lack for yourself. So being able to identify your behaviors around money, your thought patterns behind money, you have to unlearn that stuff. Because if you positioned yourself financially that you can help and take care of your family, then it's okay to release the mindset of scarcity around doing things for you in your immediate household, creating that business or whatever it is. So I think that's a big one. When people grow up in a household where they're used to taking care of everybody, it creates that sense of urgency to want to take care of everybody. And oftentimes they put what they want, what they need aside because they're trying to take care of everybody. So that is a learned behavior that we need to unlearn. It is not selfish. We have to identify even the word selfish. How does it really apply to you? When you are trying to take care of yourself and do something for yourself, that's not being selfish. So unlearning that word as it relates to finances and business when you want to create something for yourself.
Yeah, and I also think what we decide to put value on, you know, that's another behavior that we need to unlearn. Thinking that material things have more value than assets, or have more value than the discipline of saving enough to buy a house. You know, we really need to figure out what success really looks like for us, because a lot of the times we're chasing what other people have. And we know, but maybe other people don't know. Half of the times people are stealing, robbing, selling themselves. You know, they're beating on their own integrity and doing things that, you know, they're not proud of to make money. And you know, we need to really identify these things in our lives and figure out what's really important. Like, are you chasing the monetary thing, or do you just want to feel like I can get anything that I want if I had the funds to? And that does not require actually buying things. It means actually building your finances to a point where you have money in the bank and, you know, you have money working for you. And so reading, following successful people online, because successful people will always tell you that it's not about what you have, it's about who you are, your relationships, the skills you have, the services that you provide to other people. That is how you're going to get in a better financial state. And so I think just finding some financial mentors to follow and reading more can maybe help you change your mindset around that.
I agree. I also think it was something you said about looking at your boundaries, right? You may have to unlearn some of the boundaries that you have in place, because if some of the boundaries you have in place are not helping you, you may want to reevaluate them and really put some boundaries in place that's going to help you financially, right? So what does that look like for you? And another thing you said is identifying what does success look like for you, not social media, not your homegirl or your homeboy. What does success mean and look like to you? So you have to come up with your own personal definition of what success is, and you have to unlearn what we've been taught is successful. You know, because but that's a part of understanding your core values and looking at them, because some of those values may have changed over the years because you are growing, evolving, and expanding. So some of those values may have changed and need to be upgraded. So being able to unlearn some of those things, I think, is really big when you're trying to look at your finances and what you want to do with your finances.
That's good. That's good. So, you know, this video was really created to help share some insight on tools that you can take into your life. And, you know, we are just merely we're messengers. We are reminding you, because the more that you hear information, that's also when you start becoming more comfortable with the information and more curious. Maybe you'll seek out other sources of knowledge so that you can improve your skills and the things that you understand and know. So do you have anything else to share with the people?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Nothing that I want to share.
Yeah, because we want to be respectful of the message, but we're going to definitely come back with something else more compelling, another topic that's going to help you, take you to the next level by just using the tools and resources you already have within you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.